Are you ready to reclaim joy in your life? Why joy? Why now? Welcome to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei, your joy guru. While the world looks like it's at a breaking point, burnout, stress, isolation, and overwhelm dominate the headlines. Within all this, there's a longing for something deeper, something that heals beyond the mind. Joy fuels health, sparks expansive thought, aligns us spiritually, and connects us to one another. Join me as I weave astrology, intuition, and modern psychology to ignite your soul's highest alignment. Each week, I sit down with luminous guests who embody joy as a spiritual path, a creative force, and a way of life. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the joy. Because when joy rules, transformation becomes inevitable. Well, hello, my playmates for the soul. This is so exciting on this incredible day, this transformational day. I'm going to do my 2-3 minute cosmic weather update, state of the universe. It's always powerful, but there is so much happening now in the sign of Aquarius, which is why I have that background. And 5 planets in Aquarius, like half the zodiac is in Aquarius. And in a minute, I'm going to be introducing my luminous guest who embodies a lot of Aquarius energy. But the point is, today, the sun in the sky, which is the consciousness of everyone, is coming together conjunct. I usually say dance cheek to cheek because I like that better, with Pluto, with the planet of power that is in Aquarius now for the next 20 years. So all these things that are happening, AI and old structures crumbling and all of this, it's so right on in terms of the cosmic weather. And I'm not insensitive to anyone's individual experience, but the bigger picture is really exciting. And that's what Aquarius energy is about. Aquarius energy is the energy of invention and innovation and ingenuity and breakthrough. What hasn't happened yet? Where have we not gone yet? So the sun's with Pluto today, and today Mars, the planet of drive, action, passion, and desire, entered the Aquarius pack. So now again, we have these 5 personal planets, well, actually 4, and Pluto in Aquarius. So my intention for the show today specifically, and especially with who my guest is to really transform how you live your life from in other words, how you transform your relationship with joy, whatever that is for you. And I'm on this journey with all of you. My inquiry now, my study is joy. It's like I feel like I'm getting a 3rd graduate degree in joy, and I'm designing my own curriculum. So any ideas you have, just send them my way. But my point is, this is such a time for all of us, no matter how we're wired, to step into, to embrace, to welcome a greater level of authenticity, literally to live the life in terms of who you are. One of the things that when Vern and I did our connection call, that expression, how people will say, I really love who I am when I'm with you. Whether it's a romantic connection or it's like, I love who I am when I'm with you. Well, I love who I am when I'm with you because I can be more me when I'm with you. And that's exactly what's up now. I mean, if we want to boil a lot of the Aquarius energy down to it's actually what Vern said. I'm going to bring him on in just a second about saying no. It's being authentic. So what else did I want to say? So my luminous guest today, my guest in the nest, is someone I've known for 30, 35 years, whatever it is, a little less than half our lives. And we both have white hair now, silver hair, I should say, the fox and the foxess or whatever. And we have crossed paths in many different iterations over those years. And Vern creating something, teaching something, me doing my thing, in and out of marriages, whatever. And there's always been this warmth, this mutual support of each other, this joy, this fun, and this encouragement. And so, and I, here you are. So Vern, welcome. So to Joy Rules, this is such an honor, and it's such an honor because, as I shared with you on our connection call, that by today the moon would be in Aries, which she just shifted at like 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is your moon sign. And so it's like this climate of this show, this weather is so perfect to showcase who you are. So I want to just share really the this so you can speak to this, because one of the things over the years, because again, in all these connections we've had, that has always fascinated me about you, and it's in your chart, we've talked about it so many times, is this prominent Aquarius energy. You chose the soul, your soul chose to come in as with the sun in Aquarius, with the planet of communication in Aquarius, with the planet of what drives you in Aquarius, which is all about what's not here yet, breakthroughs, all those things that I said, and all about the collective and community and the planet. And yet at the same time you came in with your moon, which is the unconscious, and your ascendant, your window to the world, your persona in Aries, which is all about what do I want. So and of course my work is about the joy comes from the marriage of that, right? Because they're very different, and I think people who have known you over the years have probably seen bits and pieces, but I wonder how many of them have really recognized the whole of you. If that, boy, I didn't know I was going to say that. Take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited for you. I know this is a new venture for you, and no matter what you step into, it always seems to come out in a very extraordinary way. And so, congratulations on that first.
Thank you, Vern.
Uh, so, I guess in our conversation that we had the other day, preparing for this, we discovered a lot of different things. And of course, one of the things that we focused on, was joy. And what I did is I went back and looked at a couple of things in my own work, and I realized that I had said this. So I just want to cover, just take a second. I just want to share this with
Oh,
you,
please.
see what you think. Joy is not a feeling. Joy is a state of consciousness. It is the most powerful state within the power of love.
Hmm.
And it impacts all life strategies that you put in place.
You wrote that?
Yeah. About actually, I just wrote it about 10 minutes ago.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
like how many people are talking about joy as a strategy to change one's life, right? You've studied change, as you shared with me, and all these various methodologies,
Over
and your
160 different methodologies. Yeah.
study of destiny, Destranology. I'm thinking about that. When did that when did that start? That was because I remember you being at shows with that.
Mhm.
So how long ago when did that all sort of?
Basically, it started officially, okay, about 12 years ago. Even before that, I was studying because if you want to, let me give you the
Yeah,
background on it really quick, okay? And I'm
yeah.
going to give you the short version instead of the long version.
Yeah, and you told me
Uh,
I can interrupt you, so I
oh yeah,
may.
absolutely. So this is two short paragraphs that I wrote when I was trying to get very clear as to what I wanted to do, why I was moving into this direction. Because for years prior to this, over 50 years, I worked with people one-on-one, and I had, major programs, as you are aware of. I worked a lot with business people in particular. But where I was at, I had one foot in the metaphysical community, one foot in the business strategy community, which is an interesting place to be. But what happened for me is I wrote this. So I've dedicated over 50 years of my practice to working exclusively with entrepreneurs, creating personal and business strategies focused on taking them and their businesses to the next level of success. Real entrepreneurs have tremendous potential, yet are among the most challenging personalities to work with. I know that because I are one.
I was just gonna say, with the moon and
Yeah, well,
rising in
this is
Aries, you
really
are one.
interesting. as you know, we've talked about this before. You put your time and energy and research and development in the one thing that you need greatest yourself. Your weakest point is where you don't find that out many times until you're into this. And then you wake up one morning, look in the mirror and say, oh my God, I've been talking about me all along. But then
And
after seeing,
it's so exciting when we get it finally.
yeah, it is. After seeing significant levels of progress, and I did, many people I worked with, over at least over 1,000 entrepreneurs. I observed that even with breakthrough strategies, okay, all the latest breakthrough strategies in that, self-sabotage was a recurrent issue.
Hmm.
And for the last 20 years, I've been on a personal quest to discover and create a system to address this challenge, not just for entrepreneurs, but for anyone seeking authentic change. Now, this was the key for me. That was the statement I wrote. And then the phrase, I use constantly, which held me accountable in the work, was total freedom
Total
demands
responsibility.
total responsibility. And to the degree you give up responsibility, you give up freedom.
That's so brilliant. That's one of your brilliant isms.
And I used it as my filter as to who I would work with and not work with.
Yeah,
Because if they would not agree to play at this level, then I didn't want to put any time and energy in because I had already done that before. I
yeah.
understood what that was all about. But this is the biggie one. This is the one that in a sense, this one little phrase really encapsulates what I discovered. Life is a series of choices based on one's personal perceptions, filtered through their inherited or self-created core belief system, then acted upon. Therefore, one's core beliefs determines one's personal destiny. Now, that statement right there is pretty simple, but it surely covers the areas that I've looked at as far as being able to
Yeah, because
discover where I wanted to end at with somebody. This is where I wanted to transform from a core belief system that will cause you to self-sabotage to a new core belief system, which would allow you then to create consciously what you wanted in your life.
Well, I'll tell as we're talking now, I'll tell you a core belief I know that I have had up until recently and in my own inquiry. And the core belief was something like it wasn't okay to really have fun doing what you love. And yet I was preaching that, so to speak, and I say it that way. When you do what you love, work feels like play. When you do what you love, you'll never have to work again. And I believe that in my core, but I had obviously a core belief that said no. And I remember my mother once years ago when I got a real estate license and didn't hated it. And I have great respect for real estate agents. And I remember my mother saying, I said, I don't like this. And she said, what, you just want to have fun doing your work? And I went like, yeah, is that not okay? But I'm validating what you're saying because frankly, over the years, when you've shared with me about Destranology, you've always taken me down the rabbit hole. And I think I missed the big picture. And frankly, the world wasn't ready for it. The world wasn't ready for it. You've been ahead of your time your whole life. I mean, haven't you been sort of catching up to you?
Yeah, that's what I found in everything I've gotten involved with. The path seems to be many times I'm introduced into what I would now call self-crisis, needing to resolve an issue or a challenge in my life. I would go down the rabbit hole, digging in as deep as I could. I've never been one to just accept what somebody says,
Well,
and
and
I'm
let me validate that astrologically in your chart
yeah, okay.
because Jupiter in the chart, and this is for all of you because we all have Jupiter in our chart. Jupiter's the planet of the meaning and purpose of life. It's the contract with God and the universe. It's growth, it's expansion, it's wisdom, it's what we believe.
Hmm.
And you have, as we both do, because we're born in the same year, Jupiter in Scorpio. Well, Scorpio is the detective, the investigator, the researcher. The therapist. I'm not content to take things at face value. And in your chart, it's in the Scorpio house. It's in the house of research, intimacy, other people's money. I mean, so literally, I'm just validating astrologically the work, this life's work, this body of work that you've been creating. And I had an insight this morning, Vern, that I have to share with you about you. looking at these planets now, looking at the fact that this planet of power and transformation and healing and regeneration is coming to your sun, who you are, is coming to how you think. And is now this is not like just today. This is like this is over. This is when we can talk about timing, but it's the next couple of years. But you're in it. Literally, the image that came to me was it's like, because when I asked you and I said, where are you going? And you said, that's the inquiry that you're in.
Mhm.
I think what came to me was, it's like trusting that you can throw and I'm speaking to the Jupiter and Scorpio in the eighth house, you can throw the raw materials of your being into the inferno of the universe and ask and trust that you will be recast. And I say that as a double entendre, recast and recast in terms of the roles, because you've played many roles. I mean, you've played many roles and movies and I guess what I see in you that I see in me. I mean, I think I'm talking to you, but you give me the opportunity to, I think we've always done that for each other. Like wherever we've been in our life when we've connected, there's been this mutual appreciation. I mean, our sun sign together, because remember, every relationship has a signature. Like you have a chart, I'm a
Mhm.
Libra, you're an Aquarius. Our identity as a relationship is Sagittarius, which is one of the two most spiritual signs. It's upbeat, it's encouraging, it's there's a pony in here somewhere. You have Venus in Sagittarius. You have what you love in Sag. And so that's the teacher in you. That's the marketer. That's the salesman. I mean, again, I've seen all of these qualities in you over the years. And it's such an honor. The authenticity of your hair. I couldn't, the Holy Spirit just put it in there, Vern. I didn't necessarily, but really, the comments that I've gotten from folks that have seen the pictures that on Facebook of you, it's like the best you've ever looked. I mean, who would know that just by the authenticity of the hair color, right? I mean, me too,
Yeah.
but it's like you really do embody the silver fox in a whole in a whole new way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and you made a statement which was very powerful, and I would like to add to it. And that statement, when you said you never really were doing what you really loved, and you had people that challenged you about that, I'm going to take it back a little bit further. Was it what you really loved, or was it part of your programming that told you what you really loved?
I think it was mostly the programming, but for instance, I'm an
Okay,
interviewer.
so the reason I bring this out, okay,
Yeah.
is that this is part of what I discovered
Yeah.
and about myself. I thought that this is what I loved, and I was pursuing it, and no matter what, I was going to get it. And so that's that drive. The drive was there until I really realized that, wait a second, and this has to do with some of the people I've worked with as well. Actually, with everybody I've worked with, it's come up eventually. By looking at that core programming and looking at the base programming, that was the driving force behind all the actions that people took and
Yeah.
choices and decisions that they made. But we went back and really found out that what they thought they really wanted was part of the programming. But by discovering that and working on it and digging down, they discovered what they really wanted.
Right.
And that was the authenticity part of it. That was what I really, truly wanted. And every time I had a chance to go up against something that challenged me, I was really challenging my own self-perception. I wasn't challenging something external. And so everything, of course, is in. And the other part was, my grandfather used to say, when two people think identically, one of them's not necessary. That was one of my mantras. Even when I finally put the mirror back on me and said, yeah, Dr. V, that's true about you.
Hmm.
If you're thinking and being like everybody else, you're not necessary.
Yeah.
And that really woke me up to the fact that, and then why? This is the driving force. People see it's been particular with entrepreneurs. What happens is, why are they so driven? Why do they do all these things? What's all the focus about business and success of that? You know why? because they're scared to death,
Of,
absolutely frightened.
frightened of.
They're frightened of the simple fact that somebody will discover that they're not all those things.
Oh. Well, yeah, because the entrepreneur, and I saw this because I was in personnel for years,
Yeah,
the entrepreneur starts the whatever the business is based on their passion, whatever it
that's
is. And then as the company grows, they're doing all these things that they never wanted to do in the first place. I mean, we never really.
they also realized, and this was the important part, they also realized that the business was a vehicle for them to create.
Yes,
But what they desired most was a balance between the business stuff and their personal life. They finally discovered who they were. They're discovering who they were.
right.
And all of a sudden, the connection with their families and their what was really important in life started coming out. It didn't mean that they should not pursue the concept of what we call success. Really, what it was is it was most important was they realized there had to be a balance there. And that shows up as and especially with Destranology, when I do the inquiry process, when I actually look deep, because I want to find out, because once I know what your core beliefs are, once I know those, I can tell you what your strategies are that are not working for you.
Well, did
And
you ever hear Deepak Chopra's definition of success?
I probably have.
Success is being happy in every moment.
Yes. Well, then I would totally,
I
well, okay.
mean,
I agree with that, and that's nice, and it's good. But sometimes, see, happiness,
right.
okay, is fluid. Here
Yes.
we go back to joy
It's
again.
circumstance
Wait,
dependent.
wait, you go back, your term joy again.
Right.
I think success is being in a constant state of joy
Well, that's
versus
what's so amazing.
happiness.
Yeah. And knowing that joy is in these micro moments, like as I said, as I study joy and I'm working with AI and I'm working with my own creative intelligence and going, oh, these little joy gems, like
Mhm.
just deciding I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing and just putting that intention out to the universe. So it's so interesting. You and I being a Sagittarius sun together, that
Mhm.
would indicate teaching something together, by the way. And it's in the house of relationships. It's in the house of partnerships. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I,
Well,
I actually,
we talked about friendship.
I would
And how,
we don't have a lot of time left,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
I would love you to just friend shop. Remember when we talked
Yeah.
about friend shop? Okay, we got 3 minutes. Thank you, Sierra.
Well, I guess for me, the excitement went around that, and also even the concept we've danced around that for a long time. We really have, and each of us, because we set that intention, I became more aware and began more observing what I had called friendship,
Me
and
too.
the interactions that I had with people, and I discovered some people were acquaintances; they weren't friends, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I put that responsibility on other people. And of course, the best way to get a good friend is what? Become
Be a
one,
good friend.
be one. All of this stuff, when I started realizing anything I taught, when you wanted to learn something, it wasn't about externally. It was always about internal change with the idea that then when you go out and you're authentic, now you're congruent.
Yes.
And then when you focus on things that you enjoy as well, with in see, I like enjoy, to enjoy something, not the word joy, but it's a verb.
Enjoy. Yeah, yeah.
Enjoy. It's a process that you're involved with. And when especially when you told me about the change you were making as far as the show was concerned and everything, all I know for a fact is I've observed you over the years. What I've seen is you will take a challenge that's introduced to you and you'll be with it for a period of time. You don't avoid it, but you're solemn with it. You go within with it. You take on responsibility to what's going on.
Thank you.
And by doing that, then the change becomes external and people can see that. So I mean that's part of where I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Transformation and the whole idea, all the things that you're involved with. I know you already have forever been adding value, But this is really an opportunity for you to take all your talents, all the areas of your expertise.
Absolutely.
Because there were times I knew you kind of withdrawing from astrology a little bit. I remember when you went to school to get your degree, it was like you wanted more authenticity, you wanted
Yes, absolutely.
credibility. And I saw
Absolutely.
you go into that, and you backed away totally from now what you realize that it was a tool all along.
Yeah.
And you added it too. And that combination of like right now, I know your focus is on a particular topic, but you're constantly bringing in the astrological part of it. And not from not from a woo-woo viewpoint, okay, but from a practical application of thousands of years of knowledge that's gone in to that kind of concept. But you also, I love what you also do is that, and pardon me, I'm just sharing my current hallucination.
I know. Well, I have to say, as we're wrapping, I know time to end. My daughter, every time I say your name, she says, he reminds me of Grandpa Freddie, my father. You remind her of my dad. I
Wow.
love you, Vern. I can't wait for our next interaction. Thank you, Sierra. And to all of you, my line is joy is the fix in 2026, guys. Thank you for listening to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei Robbins, your joy guru. If this episode sparked something in you, don't keep joy to yourself. Share and spread the light. Tune in the second and fourth Friday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Transformation Talk, where together we reclaim joy as the foundation for transformation. To dive deeper, visit me at joyrules.com. And remember, joy isn't optional, it's essential. And visit joyrules.com for lots more joy. Until next time, keep choosing joy and join the joy revolution. And until we connect, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars.